Okay, I started recording also. All right, so let us get right into our data cleaning. Yes, so yesterday we were able to work with changing data types in Power Query, keeping and removing rows and columns, formatting text in Power Query. Then we didn't deal with number columns, but we talked a bit about dates, date column also. So I'm going to just bring in that data that we used yesterday. I'm going to bring it into my Power Query also, so that we can start. Okay, so we get data, Excel. Domain. Okay. Let's wait for it to establish a connection. Okay, so I'm working with sheet 1, then transform. Then transform. Yes. So the ones we did yesterday, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to go right into it. Yeah, if we have PDF or if you have folders, you can try it on your end. It's um, still the same format. Okay. So yesterday, so let me just finish up with this date function that we did. So yesterday we were able to convert this date column into the correct date format that Microsoft Excel accepts. And we use that using local, right? We came here down to using local. Then we had to choose the local that actually has this format, day, month, and year. This one shouldn't be meeting. So I want us to work with this date column. So, but we have to change the data type first. So date, then local. So I think I was saying one that says English Nigeria. Yes. So we can use English Nigeria. You can try other local, but I really don't know them. Since our format here is already day, month, and year, so I'm fine with this one. Then I'll click on OK. Now I have it here. So now from this column now, I can now extract my month name, my day name, my week num, my month number, my quarter. Since now this column is now being accepted as what? As a date. So now how do we do that? If you come in, presently I'm clicked on the date column. So if you come here to the transform tab, that is not the last tab actually, but you see it where we have the date option, the date ribbon. That's because I'm presently clicked inside what? A date column. So if I click on this date column, you see the different ones that we can work with. The age. So they said this age function, this age option is to return the duration between the current local time and the values in the selected cells. So this one works like Excel days function. But the issue with this one is that this one is working with the current local time. That's the current time of the current time minus this particular column that we have here, the date inside this column. So it's just giving us the duration between the current local time and the values in the selected cell. So this is just going to bring out numbers for us. Let me do it under the add column because I don't want it to replace my values here. I'm going to do it under the add column tab. So we still have the option of date here also. If I click on here and I'm using the age function, or I'm using the age option, so you can see, telling me that what between today, that's between the present date and this date here. Like let's just use the first one, and this first date here, that's this is March 15th of March 2023, and this particular date here, we have 822 days that has gone by. That's basically what the age is working with, telling us the number of days that has gone by between the current local time and the date in that column. So this one is now working with, when they say time, they're not focusing just on date. You can have, if you have time attached to that particular date column there, it will also extract out the time difference also. But here in the column that we have in our data type, you don't actually have any time. So what this one, all the time here is amounting to is just 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. But it's still working with what? The current time and the date. So now, because we don't have time in this our own data set here, so the time is amounting to what? 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. So now if I only want to see the days only, I don't want to see the time attached to it. Now that one is still going to come under the, let me just do it under this transform. I don't want to open up a new column. So I'm going to do this. I want to extract out just the number, just the days, not time. I don't want the time attached to it. So now, as I'm clicked inside this H column now, we no longer have the date option opened up because I'm not clicked inside the H column. I'm now clicked inside just a number. So now for this, I'm going to come down here to the duration, format duration values. So from here, we can extract the number of days. We can extract just the days, we can extract just the hours, we can extract just the minutes or the seconds. So if I want to say, let's say I only want it to return what? 822 back for me. I don't want to see this 0000 attached to it. I'm going to tell you that what? Days only. I only want to see the day. Okay, see, it says return the days component. I seen it. It should return what? The days component. I only want to see the days from this particular code. I don't want to see the hours. I don't want to see the minutes. I don't want to see the seconds. I'm going to click on what? On days. Now the hours and the minute is going to be what? Is going to be removed from it. Are you getting it? So now, if you come back here, we're not working with that days actually. So if you come back here, now let's work with, I'm coming back here to my add column. The reason I'm coming to add column, right? So I'm going to have it in another column. So now, for this date here, I'm coming here, date only. This one is just going to create a new column containing the date component. It's just okay. Now for this, let me just use this one to explain. The way this particular date column is now, it doesn't have any time attached to it. So if I should come here if I tell it date only, it's going to just duplicate this column for me in another place. So, but if I have time attached to it, let's assume there was time attached to this particular date now. What this one is going to do, is just going to extract out just the date in another column for me. So the reason why this one is going to be easy is because now we don't have any time attached to this date. And you can see what the option says. It says date only. So it's only going to extract out what? The date component from this column out. So since we don't have time attached to it, it's just going to make a duplicate of this particular column in another one for us. So we don't need this one. So now if you come here to year, look at it. For the year, we can have the year number. We can have the start of the year. That's, since we have 2023 here, the start of the year is what? 1st of January 2023. So it's just going to extract for this date now. I think we'll have 2 years here. Hold on, let me check the dates. 2023, 2024. Just these 2 years. So what we're going to be having in the years option is that what? As in the start of year, I'm just having 1st of January 2023, 1st of January 2023, and then for the ones of 2024, I'm going to have what? 1st of January 2024. So it's just going to create a new column containing the first day of the year, corresponding to what? The date column that I have here. Are you getting it? If you just tell it year, I'm going to have my year. That's what my Excel equals to year is extracting out. Equals to year. I'm going to have the 2023 out here, 2024, and so on like that. So I should come back here to my date. Then I'm working, let's work with month. So now for months, you can see it. We have this first one is working with the month number. What Excel returns, what Excel function is equals to month, the month number. Then we now have start of month. This particular date here that is having March. What is the first day of that month? So that's what this one is going to return. 1st of March 2023. Then we also have end of month also. Months, we have some months have 30 days, some has 31, and there's one that has what, 28 or 29. So in that particular year, let's say in a leap year or so, if I have February there, that one is going to be returning 29th of February, and then the year on, and then the year, right? So we're just using these ones to extract out date component from our date. Are you getting it? We can extract out the month number, the start of the month, the first day of that particular date, the end of the month, the days inside that month. So for March, we know we're going to be expecting 31. For days like for months like September, June, I know we are going to be expecting what 30. But just bringing out what the days inside that month. They may not have the month name, which is what equals to text is doing for us in Excel. Then we do the MMMM. Yes. So this one we don't need to write any formula. Just be clicked inside the column and then use the what name of month. So like, let me just use this one. And I'm going to have, is it? Let's scroll. So you can see it, and now have the month name in a new column, the March, February, October, and all that. Now let's go. So from here also, we can also do the one for quarter. We have the quarter of the year. That means this particular date. What quarter is it in inside the year? Is it in the first quarter? Is it in the second quarter? Is it in the third? Or is it in the last quarter of the year? So that's what this one is going to extract out for us. Then the start of the quarter and also the end of the quarter. So we also have the same thing also for week and day. So now all this will not be possible if the column, if the data type is not correct. Are you getting it? This won't be possible if the data type is not correct. So now because we have been able to change it using local, now we are able to use what? The date column very well using the different we're not able to extract out different things inside the date column. So now if you come here to so now from there now we cannot be if once we get to what are you calling it? Power BI. We'll not be able to use we'll be able to calculate the sales per month, the sales per week, the sales per year, the profit, the discount that was given per each day, discount was given per each month. It will not be possible since the data type has been changed. Now let us come here to the number columns. We skipped this yesterday. I said number columns often need cleaning, transformation, or aggregation. Aggregation in the sense that what? By rounding up, we are summing, or we are calculating what percentages. So now this is it. In a column containing, okay, let me just tell you this. In a column containing dates like this, if a date is missing, if a date is missing, now let's say it was not imputed in the entry and everything, a date is missing. Now what we can do in data cleaning is that we can try to replace that value. Are you getting it? We can try to we try to replace. Let's say it's just that particular one that is missing, or we have several ones like that are missing that was not filled out. We are going to what? Replace those values instead of what? Removing them. So now how do we remove, or how do we replace? In a column now, because I have changed this data type to text to date. If I'm replacing any date here inside this column, I cannot replace it with anything except a date component. Something like this. Let's say this first one was missing. Let's say this first cell was missing. There was nothing inside this cell. Now I cannot leave this particular cell alone. That's my data is still dirty. Are you getting it? So now what I can do in that sense is that what? I can replace this date. I'm going to replace this empty cell with something. Now, if I'm replacing it with something, we cannot replace it with anything other than a date component. Meaning I'm going to have to replace it with what? Something like 1st of January. I must have the date available to replace it with, right? And then there's also another option. Oh, sorry, give me a minute. Sorry, I'm back. All right. So I was talking about replacing values. So I said in a column containing date like this, and a date is missing or something, and we're trying to replace. Now, one thing we should know is that since we have changed this data type here to date, I cannot replace the missing values with anything like unknown or anything containing text or anything. It will not accept it. The reason being that what data type is now what in date. So in that sense, if I'm trying to replace a date, I'm trying to replace an empty column or an empty cell inside the date column, I cannot replace it with a date. I have to replace it with a date component for it to actually see it. I can't replace it with null. I can't replace. Okay, I think we can do it with 0. Okay, hold on. I think we can do it with. We can replace an empty cell in a date column with 0. Go back up. This thing is not scrolling back. Okay, so this is it. I'm trying to replace. Let me just replace this first one with 0. Let me see if it's going to accept it. Let me show you something. Transform. So I want to replace my values. I'm trying to replace a value. So the value I'm trying to replace is this first cell here, the 3/15/2023. I'm going to write out the day. I want to be specific on what I'm trying to replace. I'm going to write out the value to find. Find out this 3/15/2023. Are you seeing it? 3/15/2023. So now if I said it, okay, replace with null. Replace with null, right? So now let's click on OK. It did do. Okay. Hold on. 3/15. So able to. Okay. 3/15/2023. So let's say unknown. I'm trying to try something. Unknown. Okay. So the thing is, I said something yesterday. I said most of the time, if you are trying to see if you have empty cells in your this thing, you are going to most of the time it's always represented with the null value. So now if you look at it in my dates in this column quality or this column distribution I have here now, it's telling me that what I now have a 1% empty in this particular column. So now you can see that when I try to now change that particular date to something like unknown or something like I'm trying to just replace it with no date here or something, it won't accept it. Because why? This particular data type, the particular column here has been changed to what? Has been changed to date. So now why this one is accepting it? Because null basically means empty. It basically means what? And this particular cell is empty. So now for this one now, I can tell you that okay, now replace this null value with what? With a date. Are you getting me? So now where I was going with this is that if you're trying to replace your values inside your data set, it has to correlate with what? With your data type. It has to what? Correlate with your data type. If you try to switch it out with, for a column containing text, I'm saying, okay, this alican now, I want to see it as 0. If you're trying to visualize it, you are going to be having an error because the data type is not the same thing. Because if you remember when we were trying to replace this date column also to using local, for one that Microsoft doesn't recognize, that it doesn't recognize this particular date format as day, month, and year. It's returning error back for me. So we're trying to replace values like that. It has to be what? It has to be something that Power Query will understand. In a column that is a date, replace it with date. A column that is a text, replace it with text. A column that is a number, replace it with number. So now, if I come here to, let's say in this total sales here, in total sales, let's look at this discount. Yes, there's actually no values in discount. Let's look at this. In the discount, I have a null. I have empty spaces inside the discount column. Are you seeing it? I have empty spaces inside the discount column. Now, if a column that is supposed to be a text, I can always replace it with unknown or not available. That one can be seen. Are you getting it? But in a column that is containing numeric values like this, we cannot replace those null with unknown. Unknown and number 0, unknown and number 5, they are not of the same data type. Are you getting me? Unknown or not available and number 10, they are not of the same data type. So now if you try to replace this particular column now to unknown or to not available, what do you think is going to return back for us? What do you think is going to return back for us? Yeah, don't worry, we'll get there now. Let me take the question again. I said if I'm trying to replace this null here in the discount column, if I'm trying this null that we can see here, I'm trying to replace it with not available or no discount, what do you think is going to return? And put this in mind, I already changed this data type here to 1, 2, 3. Well, error. Should we try it out? Let's try. Let's use the replace. Let's try it out. So replace. So what value is it to find? It is to find null. Anything that says null, replace it with unknown. Because it is not even giving me the option of clicking on OK. I don't have any option. I don't have the OK option now to click on. That's because this data type in this column here doesn't accept text, because I've changed it to what? To 1, 2, 3. Now, what can we do in situations like this? In a column, there are two options. On it won't accept it. There are two options to do that in a numeric column. There are two options. One is either by replacing it, is either by deleting that particular cell. Is either by deleting that particular cell, or we are replacing it with what? With the average number. Those are the two options. The first one is to what? Delete that part, because now we don't actually have something else, because there's nothing that is telling us that, okay, this particular node that we have here, this is exactly what is inside. We don't have. Now, the only other option is to what? Assume. Just, okay, for this null value, let us just put it to thought as, let us replace it to thought with the average numbers. Are you getting it? So those are the two options. But in options of, in a column containing like this payment method now, that I'm having node here. Now, this one, for this payment method column that I'm having node, I can replace that one with not available or blank. Anything that at least that one now is now able to accept what? Is able to accept text, because data type is now what? ABC. But for this one that is a number, we cannot replace it with anything text. So we have to what? Is either we're deleting that particular row, since we don't have anything to fill it out with, or we are replacing it with what? We are replacing it with the average. That's the mean. The mean of the entire number. Are you getting it? So now, how do we actually get the mean of this number? How do we get the mean of these numbers? So now, as I'm clicked presently inside this discount column, I see it. As I'm clicked inside the discount column, you should notice something. You know, we have text column. We have the options of what? Of text column. We also have the options of what? Date and time column. This is now the one for what? Number column. I see it. This is now the one for what? Number column. So now if you come here to statistics, now this is the one we now have what? Those aggregate functions. I see it. These are now the ones that we have what? Aggregate functions. The sum. If I click on sum, it's going to add up all the numbers inside that column for me. It's going to give me one single result. It's going to give me what? One single result. The total sum of the entire column. Second one, I have minimum. It's going to tell me what? The minimum value here. I'm going to also have the maximum, the median, the average, standard deviation, the count values, and also what? Count distinct values. Are you getting it? So as I told you now that the way we're trying to cover up this null value with something, we're going to replace it with what? With the average number. That's the average of this particular discount. So if you now finish up, probably you're trying to visualize, we can always switch it out that, okay, for the discount that was not imputed in the entries, we had to replace it with what? With the average. Because now it is not the normal, it is not the common average. It's not the common discount that was given. We had to replace it with what? With the entire average. The average of the what? Of the entire number. So to do that, I'm going to click on the column. That's the discount column. I'll come here to the statistics. Then I'm going to use average. Get me the average of all the values inside this currently selected column. So give me the average. Now that one is going to return a single value for me, which is this. I seen it. It's giving me what? A single value, 7.26 and so. You can see it, just one single value. So now what we can do is now what? I'm going to copy this out. I've gotten my average already. I've gotten the average of that particular column. I'm going to copy it out. Oh, come back here. Copy. Hold on. Copy. Ctrl+C to copy. I've gotten the average. I'll copy it out. I seen it. I've copied it. Then I'm going to cancel that step that calculated average for me. I'm going to cancel out the step. Then I'm not going to what? I'm going to replace the value. Are you getting? I'm going to replace the null with that copied cell. I'm going to just come back here to this column, highlight it back. I seen it. And I'm going to come here to replace values. Now, what value is it to find? Null. Look for null. N-U-L-L. Look for null. I seen it. And then replace with then Ctrl+V. What you just copied out. So every null you can find there, replace it with what? With this average number. Then okay. Now this one will accept it. I seen it. This one will accept it because why? I have numbers. What I'm replacing it is what? Is numbers. Now, if you look at this now, this is the only one that is having so many decimal numbers. It's having so many decimal numbers after it. Now we can round it up. We can round it up or round it up. We can round it up. I seen it. So now, since I'm still clicked inside this column here, I'm still going to come back here to my statistics. Okay, see rounding up here. See rounding up here. Perform rounding. So come here. Is it about rounding it up or we are rounding it down? Or just tell it, okay, how many decimal numbers do you actually want to round it up to? Is it 2? Is it 1? Is it 3? I seen it. So now what this one is going to work with is the numbers that actually have the decimal, the one I replaced with what? With the average numbers. That's the only one it's going to work with. Because if you look at all the other ones I have here, they are all whole numbers. So if I'm telling you that I want to round, it's going to what? Round up that particular column in that cell. The particular the cells in this column. So whatever I'm trying to round it up. So let's just say round up. And see it. That's rounded up what? The decimal number. So if I should click on this filter now, I'm definitely sure I don't have any decimal numbers any longer. So 0, 5, 8. Since I rounded up, it's rounded up to what? 8. So let's see them. Let us see those empties. You can see it was not even just one. You can see how many we had to replace. How many discounts was not imputed in. You see it? I've been able to replace this thing. Cancel out. Let me take this one again. Cancel. Yes. So as I said, we're trying to what? We're trying to control these null values that we have here in a column containing numbers. Are you getting it? So we'll tell you that what? I want to get the average of this column. Get me the average of all the values inside this column. Then from there, I'm going to what? Replace. I'm going to come here, highlight the column, you come here to your statistics, then tell you that what? Get me the average of this. Then I should have just one single value. What we can do is what? You copy. Since I want to replace it, I want to replace those null with it. So I have to copy it out and then cancel the step. So copy. Then I have to cancel the step that actually gave me that average. Cancel it out. I send it. And I'll just come back here to what I have, what I want to replace with in the discount. I send it. I'm going to highlight it back. I'm going to come here to replace values. So what value is it to find? It is to find what? The null values. Null. And then replace with what? This average number for me. Then okay. So now we have this here. You can leave it here and you can also round it up. You can leave it like this or we can round it up because now it's now being specific that okay, this is what I replaced it with, the average numbers. Yes. So the thing is, if you delete that entire the best bet actually. Both of them are actually the best bet because if I'm to delete that data set, if I'm to delete that row, my data set is going to be short. I'm going to lose records, right? But then if I actually do have the content of those missing values, I can replace it with them. I can always replace it like that. But I don't have. And the other option is to what? Just replace it with what? With the average. Just look for the average value in that column and then replace it like that. So now we should be able to do the one for this payment method also. We should be able to do the one for payment method, because if you look at it, we have null. Come back here. We have null. I see it. Now for this, we don't know their own. For this one, we cannot get average. We cannot get maximum. We can't get minimum. We can't do anything here. But for this one that is saying null, we can only replace it with unknown or not available or can't be found or something like that. So if I'm trying to visualize, know that, okay, these particular people didn't fill out what? The method, their payment method, the method they used to what? But they used to what? Make payment. Because now we only have 3 here. Is it 3? Okay, we have 4. The bank transfer, people that made bank transfer, people that paid with cash, people that paid with credit card, and people that also paid with mobile payment. Now, for the people that are null, we don't know. For people that are null, we don't know. So now what we can do is we're going to replace it with what? With unknown or not available or anything like that. So let's replace values. Then what value is it to find? It is to find NULL. Then replace with unknown. Now this one will work because I'm replacing text inside the text column. So let's see payment method, load. So let us see the unknown only first. Let us see the unknown only. So many people didn't fill out their payment method. People that didn't fill out their payment, the method they used to what? They used to make payment, be it cash, bank transfer, or anything like that. It was not known. Are you saying it? So what we can do is what? We can replace it, and then we can always put it in our visualization that this is the amount of people that didn't put payment method in what they filled out. So let me cancel this out. I'll just fill that now. Yes. So now for this, we're going to scroll through also. Let us check through the age. Oh, the age was the one. I was wondering who is 165 years old. This was what we did for the date column. What we did. I was wondering how somebody can be 165. Let's see. Okay. So now another one that is very important is this order ID. Yesterday we were able to identify that this order ID is the column, or yes, it is our primary key inside this column. And I told you the features that a primary key should have. First off, it should be unique. Secondly, it should not what? It shouldn't be empty. Are you getting it? It shouldn't be empty. So now in a column that is supposed to be a primary key, I told you both the distinct values and the unique values, they must be of the same thing for you to know that what this particular column is a primary key. Their distinct values and their unique values is going to be the same thing. Are you getting it? So now, this is now clearly telling us that what this particular column has duplicate. The primary key column has what? It has duplicate. So now, before we can delete those duplicates, we need to see them. Let us see those duplicates. Let us see if there are two options. Is either they are of the same record, those duplicate values, they are always of the same record, or there was a mistake. Another ID was given to 2 different people. It happens like that. Are you getting it? So now that particular thing, we need to check which particular condition it is meeting. Is it of the same record or is it of what? Different record. So we need to check first. So now what we can do is we're going to tell Power Query to keep duplicate values. Are you getting it? We tell Power Query to what? Keep duplicate values. So I'm clicked on the order ID column. I see it. I'm going to come here to my keep rows and turn into what? Keep duplicate. Now I have duplicate values. If you see my step, I have what? Kept duplicate. The duplicate has been kept. So now how do we actually know if they are the same thing? Because if you look at it, I think we have How many rows? We have 109 rows, 109 duplicates. Is it 109? Yes. 109 duplicate values inside that column. So now how do we check? We can just check probably the first two or the first three. We come here to our filter button. I seen it. I want to see this first one, 1083. Let me see what record is actually talking about. I'm going to unselect this. I want to see for just this first person. Okay. So if you look at it, I have ORD 1083. That's the same order ID for the two of them. The date is different, right? The names are the same, but then the region is different, meaning these are two different people. The product category that they bought also is different. The product they actually bought is also different, meaning this particular data set now is not talking about duplicate entries. This one is more like, okay, still duplicate entries though, but it was, let's say it was the other ID was given to what? To two different people. But let us not base it on this one. Let us check out. We have checked the first one. Let us check the second one. Come back here. I'm still on kept duplicate now. Yes, I'm still on kept duplicate. So filter, let's check the second one. 1511. So unselect all. Show me this 1511. This one also is talking about two different people. The same names, but different regions, different product category. Now it is now safe to say that this particular order ID cannot be used as a primary key because it is not fulfilling any of its conditions. It is not unique. Okay, it is not empty, but the first one is that what? It is not unique. So this particular column here cannot be used to identify, because now if I'm to look for, let's say I've been asked that, okay, which customer actually bought, which customer has the order ID of ORD 1511? Who am I going to say? Is it the person that is coming from northeast, or is it the person that is coming from what? From north? You can say that there are two different things. If let's say I'm just using as an example. Let's say we have been asked to ask that, okay, which particular which customer or what product did the person of order ID 1511 bought? Now for this, I really cannot tell, because why? I'm having two different people with what? With the same order ID. So now this particular order ID now cannot be used as a primary key, because it is not filling out what? The condition that it is supposed to fill. So now in this aspect, what we can do is we can introduce a new column for it. Now, okay, I want to use this particular column as a primary key. This one should identify each and every row for me, like that. So those two Alican, the one from northeast and the one from north, they will have two different new order IDs now instead of this one. I get it. We're going to what? We're going to introduce a new column. I think we did it in Excel. So we have to introduce this column called employee code, since the employee ID was very, very long. But this situation now is that what? We have duplicate values in a column that is supposed to be what? Our primary key. So we can introduce what? A new column. So now how do we do that? Let me cancel out this kept duplicate. Let it come back to the way it is. Hey, I've not replaced this value here. I think this is it. Yes. So let me cancel it out. Delete that step. Let it come back to the way it is. Yes. Okay. So now I was going to introduce what? A new column that will actually identify each and every row distinctly without what? Without duplicate. Now that one falls under the add column tab. It falls under the what? Add column tab. Now this particular thing now is Excel, what do they call it? Excel sequence formula. Are you getting it? It falls under Excel sequence formula. I'm just trying to generate a new number for each and every row that I have in my data set. So now that one falls under the what? The index column. create a new column with an index. With an index starting at 0, but you can control it. We come here to this drop down. So we have the one that's going to start from number 0. We also have the one that's going to start from what? From number 1. Then we also have the one that you can actually give it the steps for you to skip. Okay, they said with a specified what? Increment. That one you can control how you want to what? Introduce that column. I'm going to use the custom. So no, cancel. Let me come back here. Yes. So introduce again. Index custom. Yes. So what's the starting index? Let's say I want to start with 10001. Yes, 10,001. Oh no. Okay, this one is just 4. So let's use 4. Yes. So let's start from Okay, let's use this. 000. Now I'm going to do 1 over for me also. So let's do 1001. 1000. 001. 1001. Anyone? Hey, I've not been checking these messages. Add that round up again. You can, if you just click on the column, you will see since you are clicked inside the column containing number, the option of rounding up will come out. You will see it rounding under the number column option that we have here. So let's use 1001. Okay, this 2. 1001. And then the increment, I want it to increase just by 1. So the next one should be 1002, 1003, 1004, like that. So I'm going to click on OK. Now, I have an index. I see it. I now have an index. Now, this index now is automatically picking 1, 2, 3 as its data type. But since it's a column that I'm not going to do addition or average or mean, I can leave it in what? In text. I think we talked about this one too yesterday, but that's not what we are going to. So now for this one, I can move it to the front. That's to the beginning. So it's either I am like clicking and dragging by myself, or we use the option of move. So right click inside the column, and then come down here to move. You see move. So move to beginning. So now I have it here. Move to beginning. So I can rename this option. I can rename this column new ID. Should I name it new ID? Let me just name it ID. 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 Let's see. So let's try to change this one to text first. Let's see. Text. You can see it. So it's not like this one. I'm not doing the reason why I'm able to do this one because you understand now. I'm not doing any aggregation inside of it. I'm not doing any aggregation. Current ID. Just anyone. I change it to anyone. It doesn't really matter. You understand? So I've been able to do this. I seen it. So now let's come here. For the person I wanted to get rounding up, I hope you have gotten it. So now let us talk with pivot and unpivot. This is another option also, or this is another cleaning up also that is inside the data cleaning. Pivot and unpivot. So they said pivoting in Power Query means transforming rows of data into columns. I'm transforming what? Rows of data into columns. Are you getting it? Based on the what? Unique values in a specified column. So they said, what I mean by what? Pivot. Pivot basically means what? It is converting rows into columns. Then that one also what? It creates a wide format for us. I think I have a data set that we can use for that one. Let me insert a new column or a new data set. There. Where is it stored? Desktop Power BI. I have one that's called pivots. Yes, pivots. I'm bringing this pivot table in, or this pivot sheet in. Pivot. Okay, so now we have the clean option. We have the clean data, and we also have what? We have the unclean one. This is what we need to. This one really clean one. Oh, okay, it's not. This is not. Okay, this is how the data set is. This is how it is. This is the one. This is the unclean one, and this is the column. This is how we want to see it now. But let me just show you in Power Query. I'm going to check the two of them so that we're going to see the two. Check the two of them and then okay. We mostly don't have data in these options though. If we do, we need to learn how to clean it up. Okay. All right, so now let's look at this. We have the order ID column, we have the order date, we have the ship date, we have the ship mode, we have the metric, then we have the amount. Are you seeing it? Then we have the amount. So if you come here to the clean, we have order ID, the order date, the ship mode. We now have the metric. The metric column is now distributed into 3 different columns: the sales, the quantity, and the discount. Then we now also have what? The profits also. And this is what I said. We're trying to pivot. And remember what pivot says? Pivot says what? It will convert rows of data into columns. So now let's look at this data set that we have here. Let's look at this pivot. Look at this metric column that we have here. What we're trying to do, we're trying to give each and every one of them into column headers. We're trying to distribute the cells inside this metric column into headers. We have the sales, we have the quantity, we have the discount, then we also have what? The profit. Because if you look at the data set clearly, this column, row 1 to row 4, they are talking about the same thing. From row 1 down to row 4, they're talking about the same thing. Look at it. The same order ID, ordered on the same date, it was shipped on the same date. The ship mode is the same thing, but now the metric is now like this. This particular standard class that we have here, the sales or the headers, the sales, quantity, discount, and profit, they also have them in cells instead of what? Instead of columns. They're supposed to be in what? In columns like this. It's supposed to be like this. Are you seeing it? If you look at this first one that we had earlier, 103,800. We now have sales, we have quantity, we have discount, we also have profit out here. Are you getting it? So we're trying to what? Convert rows. These are rows. Sales is inside one row. Quantity inside one row. Discount in another row. Profit also in another row. So we're trying to convert it into what? Into columns. So now, again, pivot. When you hear pivot basically means what? Converting rows of data into column. So if you're trying to do that, you're trying to create a wide format. I'm trying to add more columns to it. And let me just use that. Let me do it like that. I'm trying to add what? More columns to my data set. So if I say add more columns, I'm creating something that is wider. I'm adding more things to my data set. Are you getting it? So pivot basically means what? Converting rows of data into columns. Basically means what? We are creating a wide format. I'm adding more columns to my data set. And pivot, both pivot and unpivot, they work with selected cells. But let me take us back. If you must have heard of this particular this now we call transpose. You must have heard of transpose. Transpose means changing rows to columns, also changing what? Columns to rows, right? Transpose, I'm talking about transpose now. Transpose means what? Changing columns to rows, and also changing what? Rows to columns. Now, that transpose is working with your entire data set. If I just come here and I say, okay, transpose the data set for me, it's going to work with everything inside here. Because now what I have here now, I have my data in rows. I have them in rows. So if I say transpose, it's going to affect everything. It's going to change all these rows here into columns for me. Meaning transpose doesn't have it doesn't have boundaries. It's going to work with everything at the same time. But we're talking about pivot and unpivot. They are working with what? Selected cells. So now, like this, now I'm trying to convert these rows here into column. I want to work with just this column, not everything is data set now. Now I can use what? Pivot. Are you getting it? So now I want to change this particular column or this particular column into more columns. Do you understand? So I'm going to use what? pivot, changing rows of data into columns. So if you click on the metric column, which is the one I want to actually change into columns, I'm clicking on it. Then if you come here to transform, that one is going to mean we don't have it in add column. Yes, we don't have it in add column. This one is under transform. So you come here to what? Pivot column. Are you getting it? They said use names in the currently selected column to create new columns. Are you getting it? So if you click on pivot column, then it will now ask you that now that I want to create new columns for you. What do you want me to put inside those columns? Remember that this sales here that we have here, this sales here, this is the sales, 16.448. This quantity, this is the sale, this is the quantity here, 2. This discount, this is the discount. This profit, this is the profit. So meaning, if you are creating a new column for me, this is what I want you to put under it. The column under amount. Are you getting it? So if you are creating new columns, anything under anyone that falls under sales, this sales 16.448, this sales 11.784, this sales 272.7, put everything under sales. Same thing for discount, same thing for quantity, same thing for profit. Are you getting it? Because I'm creating what? New columns. And columns cannot be empty. It has to have something inside of it. And it can actually, but since we have values, we are putting what? Values inside. So I'm going to click on my column again. I'm going to come here to pivot column. So now you can ask me that which values do I want to create? What do I want to put under those new columns? I want you to check out the amount column. Are you getting it? So the values, the new columns are creating amount, put them inside. Then okay. So you can see it now. We now have the sales in one place. We have the amount, or no, the quantity in one. We have the discount. Then also have what? We also have the profit also. Are you saying it? We also have what? The profit also. So now I've been able to what? Convert rows of data into columns. And I told you that we generally don't have data sets in situations like this, but if we do have something like, let's say, let me use yes, okay, let me use this. Let's say this particular column now is containing the subject. You are repeating English here. You put English language. You put the score that the person has. You put maths. You put the score that the person has. You put basic science. You put the score that the person has. Now, those particular things, now those three that I just mentioned now, they are to be in columns because what? They are representing the subject that all your students will generally have. That's what all of them are going to do. So those three cells, those three subjects should be in what? In columns. Do you understand? So we're just going to what? Pivot that particular column. We're going to change all of them. Whatever the three cells that a power query can find. Help me put all of them into what? Into columns. And then now, after putting them into columns, what values should you put? You know, now, since you are trying to put English and their score, mathematics and their score, basic science and their score. Now, if it's opening up new columns for you, English here, mathematics here, basic science here, now what should we put inside? What should we put inside is what? Is the score column. Are you getting it? So we use pivots to what? To create a large, not like a wide format. Just trying to what? Convert rows of data into columns. So now the opposite, the direct opposite is now what? On pivot. So now what do you think on pivot does? What do we think on pivot does? By saying no. Okay. Where did I use it now? Okay, let me cancel out. This is what we have. I've explained it. This is what we have. The way the data entry was done, or the way the data was stored, is that we have these four metrics: the sales, the quantity that was sold, the discounts that was given, and also the profit. These are the four things. These are the four metrics that we have. Then the values was imputed right beside it. Are you getting it? So now for this, if you look at this, sales, quantity, discount, profit, we also have that same thing also repeated again. Sales, quantity, discount, profit. Same thing again. Sales, quantity, discount, profit. What I'm trying to check is that what? This particular column here, is supposed. Now, the thing is, we can leave it here like this, but it won't be easy to see all of them at the same time. I want to see the entire column for sales. I won't be able to see it like this. I want to see the entire column for quantity, or I want to calculate the entire quantity that was bought. Do you think we can do it here? If I want to, now let me ask you. Let's assume we want to get the total sales that was bought, the total sales that was made. The way the data set is arranged, we cannot get total sales because we don't have a column that is actually defining total sales. We don't have a column that is defining what? Quantity. Neither do we have a column that is talking about what? Profit. But then we have those particular values inside another column. Are you getting? We have those values, those metrics that I just mentioned now, the sales, the quantity, the profit. We have the values that represents them inside another column. Do you get it? Now, because we want to be able to get our total sales, we want to be able to get total quantity that was sold, because we have them in a column, they are all stacked inside a column. I can tell Power Query that, okay, this particular column, distribute them into different columns for me. These sales that you have here, the distinct values, help me distribute it what? Into different columns. I am converting my rows of data into what? Into columns. So now, because I have sales, it cannot give me sales here and give me another sales here. They are the same thing. You cannot open up sales here and open up another sales column. No, they are the same thing. So I want to what? Help me represent all the sales values inside the sales column, represent all the quantity values inside the quantity column, represent all the discount values inside the discount column, and also do the same thing for what? For profit. Do you get it? So what we're going to do, I'm going to tell Power Query that I want to pivot this particular column that we have here. These rows that we see here, help me to distribute them into different columns. Now, after distributing them, what values should it put inside? This is it here, the amount column. I see it. I'm going to come here to what? Pivot column. Pivot. Now, the only thing pivot is going to ask me is that what? Values. I'm creating new columns for you. What exactly do you want me to put inside these columns? Now, I already have them as what? As my amount. Their values is correlating. So help me put these values inside each of these columns. Then I'll click on OK. So now I now have sales. Now I can now come here and tell you that, okay, give me the total sales that was made. You can see it. Now I'm able to calculate what? My total sales. I'll come back here and do the same thing for quantity also. Okay, get me the total quantity that was bought. I'm going to use what? Statistics. Is it? Get me the total quantity that was bought, or get me the maximum quantity. Who bought the highest, or what was the highest quantity that was bought from the data set? Now we're able to, now we're not able to do it because now what? They are now standing alone inside each column. They are now what? Standing alone inside the columns. So on pivot, so since pivot itself is changing rows to columns, so the opposite is what? Changing columns to rows. Changing what? Columns to, so let us use this slide, so we won't be talking too much. So I said on pivoting data in Power Query is the process of transforming columns into rows. Are you getting it? On pivoting data set, yes. So it is used when data is stored in a wide format. That means it is having many columns like this. Let me just still use this one. It is having many columns like this, and I have more columns added. Okay, if you look at, if you have our data set, the way Excel used to do it now, you are going to have some aggregations down here. Same thing for Power Query too. You are going to have it here. See, in this last place here, it's telling me that what? I have 8 columns in my data set. I have 122 rows in my data set. That's in this one I just did it. But if I come here to this clean sheet here, it's the same thing, Let me cancel this step out. Okay. Now, presently, I have what? 6 columns. If you look at it, order ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 columns. Now, pivot will increase the number of columns that I have. While on pivot, we reduce the number of columns that I have. Shikina, like that. Pivot will increase the number of columns that I have. Basically making what? Is just turning my data into a wide format. So while on pivot, we reduce the number of columns that I have. It will reduce the number of columns that I have. It's not giving me what? A long format. And that's the best way a data set can be represented, in a long format. I'm just having what? My data set arranged in columns. This is what I mean. The way we did it now, we just did pivot, right? We tried to change this one into more columns. So let us do it back. Transform, pivot this column for me, the values amount. Then okay. Are you seeing it? I have them here. So now, if I want to use it on pivot, if I want to change it back into one column, I have to what? Highlight these 4 cells also, or these 4 columns rather. Highlight these 4 columns. Now I told you on pivot is going to what? Reduce the number of columns that I have. Now, like this now, I'm having 8 columns available in my data set. Now, if I should on pivot, I'm going to have it in what? In 6 columns. So let's start with 6. So I've highlighted what I want to reduce. I want to reduce this 4. Then on pivot this column. So you can see it now. It is back to the way it is. Sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Sales, quantity, discount, and profit. I think I should have a data set also that works, that is talking about on pivot too. On pivot. Let me see. Pivot, and pivot, and pivot. Okay, let's see this one. On pivot. Let's see this one. Responses. Okay. Answers. Which one exactly is the value for one? Let's see. It's not the same thing. Answers. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I'll drop it for you one. Let me run that one. This one is still the same thing, yeah. New source. Yeah. Let me use the second one on pivot 3. Just take jottings, I'm saying, don't worry. I'm going to give you data sets to print. And use data set. Let's see. Branch here. I can't find it. Okay. Probably after the class, I'll give you one. I'll send another one. But let me just see this one that the one we use for pivots to experiment again. So it's just words and opposites. Pivot will what? Change rows of data into more columns for us. While on pivot, we change more columns into rows for us. I get it. So what I said is that what? It is used when data is stored in a wide format. That means that particular data set has many columns, and you want to convert it into a long format. That's you want to compress it with fewer columns and more rows. So we can use what? Just like I told you, pivot and unpivot work with selected cells. So you have to select what you want to pivot and what you want to unpivot before you can work with it. But if you tell it transpose, that one is going to do for everything at the same time. I'm going to send a data set. So let me do it again. So to pivot, cancel this one out first. Cancel. Yes. So to pivot, I have this. I want to increase the number of columns that I have with this particular column here. My metric, sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So I'm clicking on this column. I'm coming here to my transform, then pivot. So pivot this column for me with what values? The amount values. Then, okay, I have my data set stretched. Are you seeing it? Now, to now compress it back to more rows, but fewer columns. That one is now what? On pivot. But you have to select what you want to on pivot first. I'm going to highlight the entire four that I want to on pivot. From the sales down to profit. Are you seeing it? Then I'll come here to what? On pivot these columns. Then I'm going to have them back the way they were. Are you seeing it? With fewer columns, but what? More rows. Are you getting? Because if you look at what we have now, we have 448 rows. If I should increase the column now, I'm going to be having what? Fewer rows, but more columns. But if I'm on pivoting, I'm going to have what? Fewer columns, but more rows. So just jot it down for next time, or you can always use the slide since I've sent it to you guys already. So let's continue. So next week you might have another tutor though. We have Mr. David. I have Mr. David taking you. Okay. Merging and appending. Merging and appending. David will take you guys this one. This one is going to take a while. Let us work with splitting data. So now that particular person, or I can't remember the person that was asking how we can split our columns. You know, yesterday we talked about text function. We talked about text before delimiter, text after delimiter, text between delimiter, and all that. But that one is not really that one is more like if I want to split names, I want to split countries and nothing like that. That one will still work like that. But we now have one that now then that is more on what? On splitting data. How do we actually split those data sets in Power Query? So we have different ways. So they said splitting data in Power Query refers to breaking down data in a column into multiple parts based on what? Based on specific delimiters, positions, or patterns. Are you seeing it? They said this is a common data transformation technique used when a single column contains multiple pieces of information that need to be separated for better analysis. Are you getting? So these are the different ways that we can split: by delimiter, by number of characters, by positions, by lowercase to uppercase, or by uppercase to lowercase. Then also have what? By digit to non-digit, and also have what? Non-digit digit. There are different ways of splitting. The first one is to what? Either you are doing your text to using your text before delimiter, text after delimiter. That one will work. But we also have this one also that was what? Splitting a column. So let us continue. Let us do this one. So now, let's work with our normal sheet one. I'm going to work with this one. Let's see. Oh, okay. If you can, I think we have this one now, this merging new one that we're using. So you can work with that one. I want to use that one for splitting now. Merging new one. For splitting rather. I think what I said. For splitting, yes. We want to split columns. So customer order. I don't really need all these ones. Let me just use order. I'm just bringing in the order table. I don't need this for order table is fine. Okay, so now I need to bring it in. Okay, let's just work with this one then. Let's work with product ID. I need to bring it in. Navigation. Let me come in. Yes. Oh, customer. I've brought it in. Okay. Maybe let's I want to use the other customer, not the other sheet. Customer. Okay. That's why it's good to check preview. Just check it and brought it in. You should have checked the preview. Okay. So now let us work with splitting here. Let us work with splitting in this particular aspect. So now we want to split in two different columns or so. So now, I told you either we're using the text before delimiter or text without delimiter, but we're working with what? Splitting column. Now, we want to transform our data by splitting it. So now I'm going to do it under the add column. Do you have it under the add column? Okay, nope. So home. So we can do it under the home or transform. So now I'm inside the home tab. So if you come here to split column, I have it here. I've highlighted what I want to split. That's the full name. So split column. You can see these are the different ways that you can split. By delimiter, number of characters, by positions, lowercase to uppercase to lowercase, digit to non-digit, and non-digit to digit. I send it. So now let's start with this. By delimiter, I want to split these names into two different columns. So now, the way it is, even in Excel, you have to specify the delimiter data set has. My delimiter here, the delimiter was used to separate my words here is the space. So I'm going to leave it here. But if you come here, you will see the different options: the column, the comma, equal sign, semicolon, space, tab, then custom like hyphen, slash, full stop, and everything ahead. You can put it yourself. But here we have what? Space. It was space I used to what? Join our words together. So now we now have how to now split at. There are these three options: leftmost delimiter, rightmost delimiter. Then also have what? Each occurrence of the delimiter. Leftmost means to us. It means that delimiter that I'm talking about, this space bar, I'm telling you that what? It should help me split the first space that it can find from the left-hand side. Now, this is why trimming is important. Because if you're trying to split and you're saying, okay, split at leftmost or rightmost or each occurrence, that particular space, that space that you have, those leading spaces or the trailing spaces, they are also going to take a column all on their own. Are you getting me? If I didn't trim it out, if that particular data set is having what? Leading and trailing spaces with it. If I tell you that what I want to split column by using this delimiter space, it's going to have what? A different column on its own. That's why trimming is what? Important. But since we don't have anything to trim here, let us continue like this. So I'm now saying split at leftmost delimiter, meaning the first space that you can find from the left-hand side. Split my column, split my data like that. Let me use this name. Let me use this city where you can see I have New York and Metro, right? Let us split like this. I'm going to come here to new split by delimiter. Now, what I have here is still space, right? Still space. But now let's work with leftmost. Now, let me explain this now. I now said leftmost, meaning the first space that it can find from the left-hand side, from this particular, from N down here. That means I'm going to be having what? New standing alone. Then I'm now going to have what? York and Metro in another column. That's what this leftmost means. It's going to look for that particular delimiter from the left-hand side. If it can, once it finds it, any text that is coming before it is going to what? Split it separately from what? From the other text. So let's try this one. Leftmost delimiter. Okay. So you can see it. New is standing alone. New York Metro also is standing alone. That's why I said what? From the leftmost option. I see it. I chose from what? From the leftmost. So let's cancel this. Split. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to cancel. I'm just going to click on this settings to just change it. So now if I tell it rightmost, now rightmost is going to pick Metro standing alone, while New and York also in another space. So there are different options if you are splitting. Are you splitting? Let's say like people that have middle names. Now this one is very easy for middle names. If you're telling you that okay, split at each occurrence. Now anybody that doesn't have middle name, you will automatically they're going to be represented as what? As null. Just like this one. Since it doesn't have anything, you can see null, 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 and null here. I see it. So this one is very, very easy to split with. This split at. So if we say rightmost delimiter, I'll click on OK. Then you can see it from the right hand side. It's going to check from the right hand side. The first space that is going to see, that's what we're going to split by. So now have Metro standing alone. New and York, they are now what? Together also. Are you seeing it? That's for what? Rightmost. But we should do the split at each occurrence. Now, every space is confined in between your word. That's going to what? Split it for you. Each occurrence of the delimiter. So if I have this now, I'm going to be having new in one column, York in another column, Metro also in another column. So let's see. So you can see it. New, standing alone, York, standing alone, Metro, and that place also. So we can use this option if we want to what? Split data. You want to have how many people actually submitted. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay, let's use that middle names. You know, if you are filling out names, some people will have middle names, some are not going to have. If you split by each occurrence, now people that don't have middle names, it's going to automatically fill them as what? As null. Then you can now go ahead and replace those null with what? With unknown. That means, or we can replace it with what? No middle name for these people. Now, if I try to visualize it, we are going to have the total number of people that didn't fill out middle name. Because I've splitted by what? By each occurrence. I'm going to have first name in one space. And we have middle name also in the middle, but with plenty null, since most people didn't fill out middle names. Then I also have what? I also have what? The last name also in another column. This is what? Splitting by delimiter. I see it. So you just specify your delimiter and then it's tell it how you want it to split at. Is it the rightmost? Is it the leftmost? Or is it the each occurrence? It depends on what you are trying to work with. So we also have the one for what's this next one that we have here? What's this next one that we have here? Number of characters. So let's see what our slide says. It said split the column after a specific number of characters. So let's see that one. So Cornelius, let's use full name this time around. So full name, number of characters. So how many characters do you want it to split by? Now let me explain this one. This one means by, it says, okay, let's read this. It says specify the number of characters used to split the text column. If you tell it 3, that's number of characters. If you tell it 3, we are going to have COR in one column, NEL in one column, IUS another column. That is what this splitting by what? Number of characters is talking about. It's going to specify. You have to specify the total number of characters that you want to split by. Is it by 5? Is it by 4? This one is being specific also. It's just like left and right, I think. Yes, left and right. You can see it. Because we also have what? Once as far left as possible, which is our left. We also have what? Once as far right as possible, which is what? Our right. Then also have the what? Repeated, which I just explained now. COR in one column, NEL another, IUS also in another. So it depends on how we want to split our columns. Remember, the definition says what? This is a common data transformation technique used when a single column contains multiple pieces of information that need to be separated for better analysis. Let us try this one. Let's see this one now. If you look at this other ID column, there's no, I cannot separate this one, or I can actually. If I use number of characters, if I say, okay, 3 from the left hand side, or 3 or 4 from the right hand side, I'm being specific, right? I can use this one also to split this other ID into 2. But we can also use, I think we should be able to use non-digit to digit. Should we not? Or what do you think? Look at this. I'm trying to separate the ORDs from the words, from the numbers. But now I don't want to use this number of characters. I want to use non-digit to digit. Do you think it would work? Okay, let's try it out. So coming here to split columns. So digit to non-digit. Yes, perfect. You can see it. Now this one is very, very easy because now I now have the ones that are not digits, that's the non-digits, the ORDs in one column. We also have what? The ones that are digits also in another column. So for you that was asking how we can split the other ID, you can use that. Because if you notice, I think what your delimiter for most of your other ID was what? Hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. So you can tell it that what, okay, I want to split this column by what? Look for the hyphen button, or look for the you know, some of them might have underscore, some of them might have hyphen. Just specify the delimiter your data set has. Then it's going to help you to what? Split them in the different ways I want to split. Are you getting it? In different ways that we want to split. So let us try this last one. Let's see, uppercase to lowercase. Okay, let's try uppercase to lowercase. Uppercase to lowercase. Ah, so uppercase, that's the first uppercase available, followed by the what? The smaller one. No, this is not really given. Let's cancel. So let's come back again. Uppercase, lowercase to uppercase. This one is not going to split. Yes, it's not split. No, I'm not done. Okay, so okay, let's use this one. Let's see this one first. New York split column uppercase to lowercase. This is really not given. So it's capital letter starting on one, followed by, oh, I get it. Capital letter, then small letter, capital letter, then small letter, capital letter, then small letter. Anyways, so I've seen the different ways of splitting it by delimiter, by number of characters, by position, by lowercase to uppercase to lowercase, by digit to non-digit, and also non-digit to digit. So since we're not going to meet, it might not be me though, but since I'm not going to have class up to next week, you guys should be expecting a very data set to clean. Expecting a very data set. I'm not going to give you what to do. You will be the one to look through the data and find what the cleanup that can be done to that data set to see if we can understand Power Query properly. Okay. All right. So that will going to be the end of our class. I'm going to drop the replay as soon as possible. I'm also going to drop a data set. I told you the data set is there too. How do you save and take data back to Excel? If you are saving it here, saving that the Power BI file, I doubt you can change it back to Excel. The only one you can have is your Excel file originally. Or come here to file, if you have it, file, save as. I think I have that one of save as. Okay. Save as. You can see it. You can't even save it as Excel back. So what you can save it as now is a Power BI file. This one inside Power BI. What you can save it as is a Power BI file. You can put it back to Excel. When you get there, you use. I think we said it now. I said it yesterday. This is not it. Once you have completed your data transformations, click close and apply to load the transformed data into Power BI. I said it. Close and apply. See it. You tell Excel that, or you tell Power Query that what? Close and apply this into Power BI for me. So you go to Power BI straight up. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing now. I'm also going to stop recording.